Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Mojo here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Now, Gabrielle Union, she's been going through it. But she's also been getting a lot of support, which is beautiful to see. And it's not just from people who look like her and I. Gabrielle Union, she was on America's Got Talent. Some of the important things to know is that she actually brought a different, it's not a new, but for the show it was a new aspect to it, where she really was heavy, and she actually is online. Like, her social media game is, and so she brought that to the show, which was something very important, especially if they want to continue and grow moving forward. She got paid a lot. She did. And when I say a lot, it doesn't mean that she didn't earn every penny and probably deserved even more. I just mean it looked like she was well compensated. It didn't sound like, from what ended up happening, pay, at least within itself, was an issue, because we know that becomes a big thing. Black woman. That wasn't the main problem here. The main problem here was that Gabrielle Union, if you know her at all, you know this is a fact. She is a person who will go and be very honest and say what she's feeling, what she's thinking. She's not one of those where she just kind of smiles and grins and whatever's happening happens. She is definitely more so type A personality. And again, has nothing to do with professional or not. We're just stating, facts. Character facts. So because of how she is, how she grew up, what she'll stand for and what she won't, there was a bunch of things that we recently learned going on behind the scenes that had her, side-eyeing the whole situation. And apparently, as we come to find out, there was some jokes with Jay Leno that had to do with the Asian community. And so she was vocal about that, and how, wait, we're really going to let that slide? And so that was cut out, because from what we keep hearing, it sounds like it really was something that they were somehow, producers thought that was a good idea to keep in, or maybe we're mulling it over, and she was definitely like, no, don't do that. We're hearing that there was possibly some grievances with how some contestants were treated versus other contestants. I think there was even a story about a 10-year-old black kid who, I don't know the details, which is why I'm not going to say, go hard on it, because I don't know I just don't know much about it. But there were multiple instances. I do know that one thing that has consistently come out is that, of course, Gabrielle Union, she's someone who, aside from not liking smoke, is actually allergic to smoke. So that, and I believe they filmed in California. If you don't know, California's rules, it's like a whole nother country over there compared to most of the other states, even like New York. It's different over there, and not different in a bad way at all. But I'm just saying, certain things that we maybe would agree with, but it just wouldn't get passed. It gets passed over there. So there's very strict rules when it comes to health and safety. And Simon Cowell, he's a smoker. We know he's a smoker. And apparently he was smoking inside the building, which, first off, like, this is not the 1960s. But it is kind of a testament to how, I believe Simon Cowell is a producer of the show, and he has a lot of pull just in the industry, period. So there are certain things that he was doing and getting away with that other people wouldn't have been able to. Now, when you go and mix all of this up, as well as stories about Gabrielle Union, she mixed it up with the hairstyles. There was two separate reports, not two separate occasions, but two separate reports kind of saying that, one, there was a general comment about her consistently changing her hairstyles, and two, the comment went in tangent with the fact that they wanted her to tone down her black hairstyles. Of course, there was another report afterwards kind of saying that part of it was for continuity of the show, and because they filmed different parts and different segments. It needed to flow. And so that's why there was comments about her changing her hairstyle as much. Now that's different and very logical in comparison to the other thing that they did not say about, which was saying that her hairstyles were too black. I'm going to say the word urban because that's another term that's thrown around, but that's not a term that was allegedly thrown around, but it probably was. Come on now. That's a nice way for them saying black or brown instead of saying black or brown. And there was a social media campaign, to show Gabrielle Union's support when it came to the hair situation. Again, logistically, we can all agree and understand if it's like, oh, you're changing your hairstyles and it's conflicting with us filming different stuff. It has to look like it's happening all within the same show. But if you're saying my stuff is too black, first off, we're not even going to discuss how that's some bull. It's my hair. Okay. Begin and end with that. Like, my hair is pretty long. It's covered right now, but it's pretty long. We move on from that to another issue that was being thrown out there was she was only there for a year. Essentially, it's like, oh, spoke up, now don't have a job. I believe it's Julianne Hough. She was also a fellow castmate judge for the season. She left, but she's also doing work with NBC on other programming that they'll have. So it's not like she's just out, and that's it. A lot of people, of course, feel like due to that fact, they feel like that's probably the reason why she hasn't been as vocal. She finally went and kind of said something to show general solidarity with Gabrielle Union, but not in a way that's saying, oh, that was my experience too. It was more so, I love you, appreciate you, support you, but in the generic way and fashion. Now, because of that, at the end of the day, we know what it is. If her experience wasn't that, her experience wasn't that. That's all I have to say. Would it have been nice for her to kind of go on the lines of a Ellen Pompeo, who has been very vocal, and she's one of those women, one of those white women who very vocal about discrimination and racism and all of that. If I'm not mistaken, I think her husband is black. At the very least, her kids are biracial, something like that. But she's been doing this for a long time as far as being vocal, and especially when it comes to like network television. She was one of those people where she honestly, even at her own not her own network, but the network that houses the show that she's on, Grey's Anatomy, was honest and was like, hey, there's a lot of mess going on there. And she said this before too. And we had to clean up, but it started with being supported, it being a safe space to actually go and talk about it, and also being an ally. Just because it may not be your experience, doesn't mean that you can't show support, which is the message of the year. It should be obvious, but to a lot of people, it's not. Of course, we had other people going and showing support, like Ariana Grande. I'm not surprised about that. Love me some Frappuccino Grande. That's what I call her. As well as Deborah Messing, which I wasn't surprised. Because something told me, oh, she's going to say something soon. And when she did, that Will and Grace is on NBC. So it speaks volumes, but she's someone who has no issue saying, hey, she's another one, which is one of the reasons why I love her so much. But it was beautiful to see that Gabrielle Union was getting such outward support from people who, even though they are in positions of power and have, overall power as far as like image, celebrity, money, they still all work for someone else. So it's always nice to get that, hey, I see you, I hear you, I outwardly support you. That's just how I feel. Now, Simon Cowell is one of those people that's been in the industry for a long time, behind X Factor, different boy and girl groups as far as just putting their stamp on them and all of that. Not saying that he's just this visionary that comes up with all this stuff. No one's saying that. But just at least the general premise, or at least financing, whatever, on lock. It was interesting when, and I didn't expect this, but Howard Stern, I said, wait a minute, huh? He was very vocal about what other people were also saying about whether it was Simon Cowell or just, the older male executives at these networks. And he made the statement, well, it's not just a statement, but on his show, or on a show, maybe it wasn't his, but Howard discussed how, well, one, he's not the biggest fan of Simon. So there, of course, is going to be some heat. But two, he discussed how it's the same old thing where smart, beautiful, attractive women are on these type of judging shows and they get cycled out and their contracts only last for a year, even though no one says that their performance was an issue. So why wouldn't they be on for more than a year? But it's because you have these older male executives who are like, okay, well, let's get the even more newer, I hate the word fresher when I'm talking about people, but newer, fresher models out of the people we had last time. And when I say people, I mean women on the show, and let's keep it pushing. And that's been a huge, sentiment for a lot of people when it comes to these judging shows, because it still feels like / is, hey, you can have these older men be on the show until they're ready to croak, and then that's fine. What isn't fine is having these women, beautiful, smart women who do a great job, and everyone says they do a great job, and they can even have stats to prove they do a great job, only last for like a year or two for the most part, and also be more critical on, oh, you can't wear this, can't wear that, but you have to keep it fresh and visually interesting. So you do have to still change up your hairstyles and your outfits and attire more than the men, or at least more drastically than the men. But if you do it too much, the sexism and the prejudice and the racism just continues to jump out, doesn't it? So yeah, Gabrielle went on social media and just thanked everyone for the outward, again, love and support. Then this past week, she went and had it was at least a 5-hour meeting where it's not about her coming back to the show. That's not what it was ever about. It was more so about, exposing the baloney, the bull. Why am I talking like a 5-year-old? Exposing the crap, the garbage, the lard that's going on. And she said she had a productive meeting. It was productive. She felt heard. Now the ball's in their court, essentially. And again, this could be a situation where she comes on as like a consultant, like an executive consultant for, and I forgot what the category is, but kind of like in human resource fashion, maybe on the production side. Who knows? For the network, who knows? But all these networks need to clear out house every so often, because there's a lot of bull that gets swept under the rug for decades and decades and breeds a toxic environment. So that's all I wanted to say. Please like, comment, subscribe. Again, thumbs up. Let me know what you think. And look forward to you seeing me next time. Look forward to hearing from you.